first time you're seeing my face this episode, so hi. I'm determined to get this t-shirt finished within the next week. It's mid-November now. I kind of thought it would be done last month, but there you go. But I think that is quite achievable because look, this is the back of the t-shirt and it's nearly done. I've just cast off here in the middle, so this is going to be the neckline. I have two portions left on the side which are going to be the shoulders. I just need to do a few more decreases here in the middle to round out this neckline, add a little bit more length to those shoulders, and then I will be ready to seam these two pieces together and then start doing the ribbing for the collar and around the sleeves, and that's it. So we're really close, guys. It's really nearly done. I'm excited. I want it to be finished. I want to be able to wear it and see if it fits and if it's worked and all that stuff. So yes, come along and join me for the last few steps of this t-shirt. We're gonna finish it together. Here we go. I took a whole video with me seaming the two shoulders together and then realised that the whole thing was out of shot, I think, so you may not have seen that happen. But it did happen, and I've since moved on and I've done the neckline. Let me show you. So here are the shoulders. I mattress stitched them both together. Then I was instructed to pick up stitches around the neckline, and I've done 8 or 9 rows of the same 2x2 ribbing here to finish the neck. There's nothing really special here apart from, if you remember that I reduced the number of stitches in this part because personally I'm quite short, especially in the shoulder, so I did fewer stitches here, which was a good decision because it fits very well. But it did mean that the number of stitches around here was different, so I had to do a little bit of maths, but it worked out fine. So yeah, I did my ribbing here, cast it off, all good. Oh, there's a little hole here. Okay, we'll figure that out later. So then the next thing I have to do is pick up stitches here at the underarms, do the same thing as this for each sleeve. It's not really a sleeve, but yeah, each sleeve. And then the last step is to sew or seam the two sides together. So I've just pinned my sleeve together here to make sure it's in the right place, and now I'm going to pick up 100 and something stitches. I'm going old school, guys. I've got my set of double pointed needles. These are just the needles that I have in the right size, so this is what I'm using. It's not as unwieldy as you all think, it's not so bad. Alright, picking up. I don't think that I've done a very good job of documenting my actual knitting the last few days. I tried, guys. But where I'm up to right now, let me show you, is firstly, I've got this much yarn left. This isn't the last ball though, there's more, but this is the last of the 4th ball of yarn, 5th? This is the 5th ball of yarn. And it almost looks like something I can wear. Look, so I've got a collar and I've got one sleeve over here, and I've picked up and I'm working on this second sleeve. I've done a couple rows of ribbing already. You can't see because it's so tiny, but yeah, I just need to do 5, 6 or 7 more rows and then it's done, and then I will finally seam up the sides and we're done. I'm not sure if there's a reason for this, but the pattern was very specific about the order that you had to do certain things in, so I had to seam the shoulders first and then pick up and knit around the collar. That makes sense. I understand why you would do those two things in that order. But then I had to
pick up the sleeves first without having seamed the sides, and then seam the sides last. And I can't figure out if there's a reason for those two things being that order, and if so, what that reason would be. I've done it anyway, and it's fine, it's not been a problem. But yeah, would it have been different if I seamed the sides and then did the sleeves? I don't know. Oh, there are so many cars driving past this afternoon. It is the mid-afternoon. I'm done with work for the day, so I am going to take a couple of hours, not lose my needles, and I'm going to try and get this done. Do you know what? I think I'm going to end up cracking into the next ball of yarn. That's not enough, is it? Is it enough? Maybe. I'm not sure. I have more, it's fine. So today I'm going to finish the knitting, seam up the sides, and then get this thing blocking. Let's go. So I was a little bit optimistic, thinking that I could finish that yesterday, and the afternoon totally got away from me. So this morning then I did the final seam and it is finished! Obviously it's not quite finished because I have all these ends still to weave in, and I'm going to do it. I promise I will. But first I'm going to go and block this. Now, actually first I'm going to try it on, then I'm going to block it, see what needs to be pushed and pulled, in what direction, and then hopefully tomorrow it will have dried. It's nice and sunny right now, so yeah, hopefully by tomorrow it will dry, then I can weave in all the ends and I can have it finished off. I'm so ready for this to be done. Not that I didn't enjoy it, it's just been a really long time, and I want to wear it, you know? I want to have it done. So yeah, here it is. So close. Finishing touches, and then we're there. Yay!
This may be unconventional, but I've gone for an outdoor blocking. It's a really beautiful day, but the sun is not reaching inside my house, so here we are. I've manipulated it a little bit, but not too much, just making sure everything's lying flat, especially those straight lines, and yeah, we'll leave it here for a bit.
The intarsia t-shirt is finished. Here it is. I am genuinely so happy with the way that this has come out. For all the time I spent talking in the last episode about how wrongly I did my intarsia colour work, I think I've got away with it. Not that I recommend you do what I did. It was probably more of a hassle than it needed to be in the end, but I don't think that you can tell that there's anything, you know, awry here. So I think it's all good. I really like the way that the yarn worked up. I was kind of unsure about this because it's quite an unusual yarn. It's a mix of lots of different fibres, but it's really comfy. It's quite soft. It's very nice to wear. The fabrics come out really nicely. A couple of things about this yarn that I was a bit less happy with was, so firstly, all these different fibres are spun together very loosely, which meant that the yarn, while knitting it, it was really splitty. So that was not so great, but not really significant in the finished garment. What is significant in the finished garment is that one of those fibres is a polyester, and that polyester, you can't see, but in a close-up you'll be able to see that There are little flecks of colour throughout, and they're basically these tiny little polyester fibres which are not spun in very tightly to the yarn, and they come out basically. So these little tiny short fibres of polyester, which is plastic, isn't it? So these are basically microplastics that I'm going to be dropping all over the place. So I will have to bear that in mind when I wash this. If you have any suggestions how to deal with that, I would really appreciate it. I think there are bags you can get to sort of stop all the plastics getting in the water, right? I don't know. If you know about that, please let me know. For a yarn that's probably 40 years old, it's in remarkably good condition and it's worked up really well. I still have some left. There was one big ball left, and it weighed around 140 grams, so it's almost most of 3 skeins or 3 balls of yarn, and I guess I'll make something else with it at another time. Haven't decided yet, but later. I really liked the pattern and the design. It was easy to follow, it wasn't too complicated or anything. What initially drew me to that design, I think, was the colour scheme, because it's this very striking monochromatic tee or jersey. So I was a little bit worried that making it in these warm colours might not work. Honestly, I'm super happy with it. I can't decide if it's giving me more Ziggy Stardust or London Underground vibes. You know, I've got the Victoria Central lines going on here. Either way, I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. I'm really happy with the colours. Incidentally, they do really clash with my glasses, but not important. It's worked out really well with the fit. In the end, I did make some adjustments, so I sized up again from the larger size that was given in the magazine. I believe it was given as a size 38, so what I made is technically a 40, probably not really, but I sized it up for width, which I think worked out well because I did want it to be a little looser here, and it is. I'm really happy about that. And I made it a little bit shorter here in the shoulder, which also I feel good about. I like the way this neckline is sitting. I feel actually quite warm right now, would you believe it? It is keeping me nice and toasty. If this is the first you're seeing of this project, then do go and check out the previous episodes where I started making it. It is from this magazine, which actually belongs to my mother-in-law. It's a 1988 spring-summer edition of Burda magazine. It's a German knitting magazine, which is still alive and well. This copy is translated into Spanish because I live in Mexico. I can't give you the pattern because it's still in copyright, but on the off chance that you have a copy of this, it is pattern number 67. I have several editions of this magazine, Burda, and its sister magazine, Anna. And let me tell you, they are a treasure trove. There are so many excellent patterns in these magazines. And something that I really appreciate that is present only in this and Anna magazine is, firstly, they have sizing charts. Would you believe it? And secondly, they give you proper information about all the yarns that are used, so you can actually substitute yarns with confidence. That does not exist in the other magazines that I have. So, good job, Burda. I like it. Once again, the same as with the mesh sweater, I've ended up with a garment which, to be quite honest with you, I don't think I would have chosen in a shop. But nonetheless, I'm really happy to now have it in my wardrobe, and that's, I'm going to keep repeating, one of the really beautiful things about this project. I'm getting to discover all these amazing designs that probably I wouldn't have otherwise gravitated towards, and I love that. So now that this is finished at long last, it's been, hang on, it's nearly December now. Did I think it took 3 months to make this? Okay. I think I'm always a little bit optimistic about how long I think things are going to take, unfortunately. So yeah, no, I think this took 3 months. Oops. But now that this is finished, the big question is, what's next? A few episodes ago, I took a lot of time swatching for the next project and trying to figure out what it was going to be. I made these green and white swatches using 2 of the yarns in my stash. Here's the thing, I thought about it a lot. And I tried so many different combinations using those 2 yarns and different patterns, different swatches, different needle sizes, etc. And I was trying so hard to make it work. And then the other day, it really struck me is, I don't have to put those 2 yarns together, you know? I had it in my head that I wanted to use them both because that way the 2 of them together would make a quantity sufficient for a sweater, basically. And on their own, I wasn't sure that either of them would be. But I'm thinking maybe that's not actually good enough of a reason. If I was trying so hard to make them go together and they just didn't quite work the way that I wanted them to work, maybe that means they don't work together. So after all that, talking about those patterns and swatches and things, and all that I did, I've come to a totally different decision. There's a pattern in this issue of Anna magazine, which is from November 1987. There's one pattern in here, which honestly doesn't have much space in the magazine. It's this one. It's just sort of stuck here on the side. The picture isn't even very clear. You can hardly see the pattern here, but it's basically a sleeveless V-neck vest knit in a mohair yarn. And because it is sleeveless, I think that this pattern will work with the green yarn that I have. I have 6 40-gram balls of this green, which has mohair in it. It's a mohair acrylic blend, I think. It's from the brand Berger du Nord. It was made in Mexico, although that's a French brand. So I've got 240 grams of this. The largest size given in this pattern asks for 220 grams. What you're supposed to do is hold 2 strands of a lace weight mohair together. I don't have that, but I think this is a suitable weight to substitute for that. If I held this single-stranded, I think it would be similar enough. So yeah, I know I veered off in a different direction from what I was planning, but I think this is going to be the next project for Knit the 80s, and I'm kind of excited about it. I swatched already. You can't see from there, but I swatched. The fabric in the swatch is really lovely. There are some cables that go down the middle of the vest, which look really nice in this yarn. It doesn't even come close to meeting gauge. So I will absolutely be doing some maths on this one and figuring out if and how I can make it work. But I really want to make it work. I think this would be honestly perfect for this yarn, and I haven't yet found another project that would work as well as this one with this yarn. Does that make sense? As far as the other white yarn that I don't have a plan for, what I'm thinking is, I was fine with combining that yarn with this one. Why not combine it with another yarn that I have in my own stash? I don't think there's another yarn in Lulu's stash that would work with it in terms of weight, texture, colour. But I do actually have yarns in my own stash that I think would work with it. And why not? You know, who's imposing the rules here? It's me. And if I think it's okay, I'm gonna do it. So that's kind of my half plan for that other yarn. So that's the end of one project and already thinking about the next. If you are still here, thank you so much for sticking around and joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed watching the process of this knit as much as I enjoyed making it and sharing it with you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. That would make me very happy. And let me know down below, what are we thinking? Is this London Underground map or is it 70 Boeing? I think it's the former, unfortunately. But let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Happy knitting until next time. May your gauge swatch always come out correctly the first time.